Oh, you want to hear about the corrupt video game that traps the player inside? The one with the scientists that gets stuck in there for a while he looks for the corruption. Are you sure this is the story you want to hear? I mean, you play this game. What if this happened to you? This is scientist speaking on log number -2. We are to commence testing of -02. It is currently assigned a class rating. The date is 20 We are in site number. I am commencing personal research endeavor number 1. As stated in the previous research logs, the version of the game is 1.9C, which is a corrupt version of the released version number 1. I am proceeding to the next step of creating a single-player world and creating a default world. The game appears to be loading and is the last known step as seen in previous logs, most recently log number. The dark room snapped around Ken. The world distorted, torn, and stripped of the darkness that was around him. Ken coughs as his lungs feel pressure all around his body. But where was he? A shrill sound catches his ear, and in front of him he sees 2 turkeys. He was no longer in that dark room, but a world filled with bright light and colors, trees of all sorts of sizes. Where am I? The pounding headache slamming his cranium shot pain to his eyes. Log note. Ken catches his breath as he can no longer hear the running tape of his recorder. He entered a small nearby tower. It looked decrepit, but it looked like it was mostly intact, made of stone. It was a good starting place. Ken could recognize some of the things from his son's game as well, such as the gravel. And as he went to the second floor, he had an epiphany that perhaps he was just out of range of the recorder or communication. So he stepped out onto each of the balconies of this tower. As he did, he spoke. Log note, I'm in the tower, and I'm checking to see if I can re-establish connection to the recorder. Code 237, reconnect, transmission link. He'd watched his son play Minecraft many times on the TV back home. But something about this world was different. Right then, he walked past a bush, and as he did, the thorn scraped and stabbed him. Ow! He felt the pain from the thorn cutting his body. It was unusual. He felt the actual pain. But he continued into the tower. Ken was weary of this world. He knew some of the surprises it held, like the zombies that wander at night. That thought shot through him like a bullet to his temple. The ringing echo of his son's voice began repeating in his head. It slowed and focused on one sentence. Yeah, Dad, you have to have torches so the monsters don't appear in your house. Ken hoped to encounter no monsters, never mind in this tower, where he was strongly considering holding down. He was happy and surprised to see the torches lining the stonework of the edge. As he went back into the tower, he started to fill all the cracks and holes, trying to patch up any entrances that things could come in. Right then he noticed the stairs also traveled down into the floor. It looked like this tower had a basement. As Ken stepped down the stairs, darkness filled his vision. He could barely see below him, but the eerie sounds crept up on him, sending chills all along his body. As he reached the bottom, he could see different hallways. As he looked through the grated metal bars, he could see what looked like zombies even farther down. Maybe something else. He quickly ran up the stairs and away from this dingy dungeon. He felt relief again at the thought that there was steel grates intact down there. Ken returned to the roof to collect the torches. At the same time, he tried to reconnect with the recorder. Code 237, reconnect, transmission link. But there was no change. He just continued his collecting of the torches. He hoped to use them inside the tower, that it would be able to provide light for him. As he stuffed the torches into his pockets, he noticed that a few of them had fallen off the tower. He made a mental note that he'd have to go down and collect them. That's when he heard a noise. It sounded a little shrill, slightly shrieking. He placed his torches on the roof, but that noise was interesting. He ignored it and continued placing the torches within the tower. Lost in the plans that he was running through his mind, he simply walked out of the tower to go collect the other torches. He was caught off guard as he seen a giant spider approach behind him. He quickly turned and slapped it with his fist. Although all this did was anger it, and it began to chase him as another joined the hunt. He pulled a piece of flint from his pocket, hoping to use it as a weapon if he needed to, but his goal was safety. He ran back to the tower and filled his entrance with dirt. He turned back and saw through a small crack in the wall that the spider had climbed up and along the side of the tower. He finished placing his torches in the bottom floor, hoping no monsters would appear in his house. He filled the final cracks of the outside and went back to the second floor. He could hear the spiders crawling around the tower. He quickly tried to fill up some of the gaps so that they could not come in, but he was out of dirt. He started to repurpose what he could around the tower. He found one on the outside and he quickly knocked it down with his fist, but it was persistent. He climbed back up and it bit him. He felt the fangs sink into his leg, blood gushing out onto the stonework below. He stepped back into the tower, the pain overwhelming. He went back to the bottom floor. He was unsure of what to do. He had no weapons and he needed to block off more of the tower. He decided to use some blocks he had used earlier, again repurposing them for defense. He blocked off the final hole, and he was content that spiders would no longer be able to get inside the tower. At this point, Ken hoped that he could have one climb up to the window and get stuck where he could hit them, and that's exactly what happened. One caught on a layer between the metal bars. Ken relentlessly punched at the spider until it disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving behind a pile of silk. He collected it. He knew not what to use it for, but that it could be helpful. Ken gathered the courage to head outside. He wanted to deal with the spiders, and as he did, he watched one fall from the tower, crashing onto the ground, dying. But that wasn't the end of his fight. There was a skeleton, armed with a bow and arrow. It shot him, and he felt the arrow sink deep into his chest. He ran back to the tower, filling the entrance with dirt. He quickly headed to a corner inside. He sat there bleeding as his vision slowly went dark. Ken awoke sometime later. He was not sure how long he was out. Log note, I suffered an injury. It seems to have healed a bit. I'm no longer bleeding out as bad. I passed out for an undetermined amount of time. It seems the monsters have left me alone. I don't see them anywhere outside. Hopefully the recorder's running. Ken swallowed the pain from his chest. Surviving what he believed what was the entire night, he needed to head out. He looked out the front, and as he did, he noticed something that he had looked at earlier looked like a highway. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? I'm sure that Ken guy's gonna be fine. I mean, he watched his son play the game a lot, right? Means he knows what he's doing. He won't encounter anything out of the ordinary, will he? Hey, thanks for coming to watch the first episode of the Minecraft story series. the parasites. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and come join the Alagorian community of fun and stories. More importantly than anything, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.